Hello and welcome to this episode of Dadas Show, coming to you from the newly refurbished Manzoni 680 Hotel in Nairobi's CBD. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. Now, as our name suggests, the Dadas Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity amongst Kenyan women. And we do this by offering a safe and open platform for women to discuss issues pertaining to their health and well-being, their lifestyle, their families, their career, and anything that affects them in one way or another. We also take time to shine the spotlight on our trailblazers. To us, these are extraordinary women who are breaking barriers and inspiring a change. Now, from a humble beginning, she went into entrepreneurship with unwavered determination. She is the founder of Samchi Group, a conglomerate that has made significant strides in telecommunications, microfinance, hospitality, amongst others. Her journey is a true testament of resilience, vision, and forward thinking. But this is not just a story of her business success. This is a story of empowering people, especially women, to follow their dreams relentlessly. She is a mentor, she is a founder, and she is a beacon of hope for very many women. So on this episode of Dadas Show, join us as we get into our trailblazers journey. This is definitely a conversation that you do not want to miss. As always, we welcome you at home to get in touch with us through our Facebook pages at KBC Channel 1 across all social media platforms. You can also reach me directly at Ashiko, the host, across all social media platforms. We actually have a Facebook page, and it is known as Dadas Show KBC. We are looking forward to hearing from you through that particular platform. So before we get into today's inspiring story, let's take a look at the following feature.
Women are recognized as key drivers of economic progress worldwide. Women-owned businesses are growing globally, and in the United States of America, over 40% of businesses are owned by women. Kenyan women are embracing entrepreneurship at a higher rate, with 9 in 10 women considering starting or running their own business. According to research by MasterCard, Kenyan women are pursuing business opportunities across diverse industries, with the most popular being agriculture, business services, food and drink. Women own 31% of small and medium-sized enterprises in Kenya, and 17% of businesses are co-owned by both men and women. Most women started their business to follow their dream or sought better work-life flexibility and balance. Despite the entrepreneur drive, Kenyan women continue to face significant barriers to starting and sustaining their businesses. Lack of funding remains the biggest challenge, followed by lack of financial resources and difficulty in securing startup capital. Many women also struggle with building sustainable businesses, and they lack the knowledge on how to develop a business plan. Many women take on the dual role of business leader and primary caregiver, often leading to time constraints, emotional fatigue, career compromises, and guilt or social pressure. To overcome these barriers, there is need for structured support, mentorship, and training. And on today's Trailblazer edition, we feature Dr. Esther Mushemi, founder of Samchi Group, business mogul, author, and mentor. For Dadas Show, my name is Miriam Odanga.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is a Trailblazer episode. As mentioned to you before the break, this is a moment where Dadas Show celebrates and acknowledges extraordinary women who are not only doing big things for themselves, but they're also doing big things for their community. My guest today is a woman who actually not only walks the walks, but talks the walks. I am actually very, feeling shy and starstruck having her here. You can see I'm tripping all over my word. But without further ado, let me introduce to you my guest of honor and my trailblazer of the day, Dr. Esther Mushemi. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time away from the million things that you do to come and sit with us on Dadas Show. Asante sana, Daktari.
Thank you so much. I feel honored that I'm here.
Excellent. Would also like to acknowledge my wonderful audience who make time to sit with us every single week as we discuss contentious issues that affect the women of Kenya, as we learn from each other, as we celebrate, as we support each other. Asanteni sana for making time to be with us on Dadas Show. I also want to acknowledge you at home who tunes in to Dadas Show every single Sunday as we do the same thing. We celebrate, we learn, we love each other. We create an open and safe platform for women of Kenya to actually learn a thing or two or 10. And I'm hoping today will be one of those days that you will learn something from our trailblazer. So we mentioned something about humble beginnings. Daktari, take us back to your childhood. Where did you grow up and what was life like in your early years?
Many years ago, yes, I was born somewhere in Mount Kenya, Nyeri, a small village called Thuguri. Why is that very important? Because I represent an ordinary village girl who was born like an ordinary child, an ordinary family, and went to ordinary primary school. Gatuyaine was my first primary school, went to ordinary secondary schools. My A-levels was in Kahuhia Girls, my O-levels in Kahuhia Girls, my A-levels in Mukumu Girls, somewhere in Western Kenya. And then I came to the University of Nairobi, and I always say when it was the university. So that is my background, a common, ordinary village girl in a family of 10.
And I think that is so testament to even your determination in everything. I was just doing my research on you, and I was telling your PA earlier that I'm in complete awe of you, and I was even scared of this interview. I'm like, am I going to represent her properly? But one thing that completely stood out to me is you started your career as an auditor, yes, and then you transitioned into entrepreneurship. What inspired this bold move?
I was encouraged to achieve from a very early stage. There is this thing that I always believed, that Esther, you are meant and created for greatness. So even when I was growing up, there is something that was always telling me that I need to shine, that I need to go out for the very best. And the very best when I was in primary school is to do well as a student. The very best when I was in secondary school again is to be the best students that you can ever be. So when I started my career, and that is from the university, after I left the University of Nairobi, I did BCom accounting option. Ask me today why I did BCom accounting option. All I can tell you is because accounting was meant for clever students, because I was one of the clever students, so I opted to go for the accounting option. Yes. If I was to go to school again, perhaps I would do marketing, because I know marketing drives the sales, especially when you are in retail business like I am.
So now here you are, you've gotten into auditing, you know, making some, you've said that. So what is this that inspired you? We've heard about your journey and the determination, and to be honest, from what you're sharing, you were definitely destined for greatness. Everything was coming together. What was that moment that you said, you know what, enough of this? Right. Yes.
Thank you for reminding me the word greatness, because that is the journey we were to take. So when I went there, I desired to be a profit-sharing partner. In the midst of all the men that were there, yes, I was the only woman who was in that level, but I desired to be a profit-sharing partner. And the promises were there, and the conversations were there. But for 3 years, I waited and I waited. And one day, I called myself into a meeting, and this is what I told myself. Esther, you are meant for greatness. There is no man or woman who should be given permission to block your growth, to block your becoming great. And therefore one day, I sat down.
Yes.
And I crafted my resignation letter. Not based on other people, but based on what I strongly felt at the depths of my heart, that I needed to reclaim my life, I needed to reclaim my destiny, so that I can be in charge of that destiny. And that's how I left. So when I left, interestingly, I guess that when they knew that I was at the value that I had, the asset that I was.
There's something, Daktari, that you have said that is truly inspirational, which is knowing your value. Because you had been there for three years, you were getting a good salary, you were not content. You said, Apana, I am destined for big things and better things because this is my value. And that is definitely a call to action to majority of the women who are watching. Do you understand your value? How much work have you put in to actually know your value? You know, have you gone to school? You can hear what Madam Moshem is talking about. She was going for classes, she was working because she has enriched her life. Let's move on to the next question. There's something you talked about, being the only lady in a very male-dominated field. And I can imagine when we're talking microfinance, we're talking telecommunication, we're talking hospitality, all of those, especially back in the day, were very male-dominated fields. Absolutely. What are some of the challenges you have faced as a woman, and how did you overcome them? Because you're a very beautiful woman. People always have this assumption because you're beautiful, everything came easy for you, or others will expect favors. How did you overcome those challenges?
Well, let me put it this way. First of all, I want to be grateful to my dad, to my parents. Because when I was growing up, it was never engraved in my mind that I am different as a woman. And so, as I did what I did and what I needed to do, for me it was always that I can be and become the very best. And that was very important. So, by the way, it is not until very much in life, especially when I started becoming more public and engaging many women, that I realized, oh my good Lord, Kube, the discrimination can be real. And therefore, I started looking back and saying, could this have been the reason? Up to today, I don't have that answer. But at times today, I ask myself, could this have been?
Possibly.
Possibly, isn't it? Yeah. But then today, this is what I say and this is what I believe in. I am more today because you told me to speak my whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes. I'm more of a person who is driven by the agenda and not the gender.
Oh, nice.
So for me, I will push my agenda regardless of whether I'm surrounded by men or I'm surrounded by women. I can tell you this with no fear of contradiction. There are times I've been in a board room situation and I am the only woman and I am on the share. You can imagine how then you need to manage yourself in such a situation. Yes. So I'm not going to allow them to imagine that I'm seated on that chair because I am a woman. I'm seated on that chair because I'm competent and I deserve to be on that chair. Therefore, yes, we keep on talking of even the is it called the third gender rule?
Yes,
and all that. And it is it looks like it is reference to women. And yes, I guess because of the cultural background and because of the stereotypes, I guess there is a praise of that. Yes. But I always want to tell women and to advise them that what you are given free will also be taken away from you as easily as it was given to you. But that what you have worked for and you have got it because you have worked so hard. Imagine, even God will honor that because you have acquired it through the hard work. So let's encourage women to work hard. Let's encourage them to know what their value is. Let's encourage women to know their purpose, to know their inheritance, because that's what we talk about when I'm talking in my book, Give Me My Mountain. That's very important, because what you have got by merit, nobody can get it out from you.
Wow. And I think that's the one thing that most people do not understand. And I'm so happy that you're here to reel that in. I'm really loving this session, Dr. So you have built a multi-sector business through Samchi Group. What has been your guiding principle in leadership and, of course, in decision making?
The first value principle that I observed, which I still do even today, is the principle of focus and consistency.
Yes.
I was very focused, I was very consistent. Focused on what I was doing, focused on the things, on the controls, focused even on myself. I did not want any distractions allowed me, because I knew if I don't follow the lane, if I don't keep my lane, I did not have the luxury even of a lot of capital. I started with 50,000 Kenya shillings, and so I needed to protect this capital. So stewardship is also another principle that I apply. And this is what I want to say allow the principle of stewardship. Sometimes I think until you have been tested and tried on stewardship, you always remain limited, because you be given this small business, you squander everything, and then you have to start all over again. Who is gonna trust you? Nobody. On wasting the resources? Even your family, they cannot trust you. Your friends cannot trust you. I dare say even God will not trust you.
Yes.
Yeah. So you keep on wondering, why am I cycling here? Yeah, because you have not passed the test of stewardship. The other thing is that I'm very relational. Even today, I had a conversation with my HR today, that there are people who have worked for me, and I was telling her I need to call them back and celebrate. Those people who sacrificed with me when I could not even afford an office. My office was behind a store somewhere, and they worked for me 24 hours in a day. And today I felt, I wish I could call them back and see that who they supported, that what they supported is what has given birth to all what you are talking about. So honesty and integrity is also a key ingredient of my success. I'll tell you why. Because I have told you that I started with very small capital, and the people, I am very built by people as my staff, who trusted me and still trust me significantly, and many are here, and so they can testify that. My suppliers trusted me. I can tell you there was a community, and I won't mention it today, who used to give me as much as even 10 million. Go buy airtime or stocks, and then we'll come and pick it in the evening. There was nowhere written anywhere, and that's the way they are the people who gave me a breakthrough. I got a breakthrough in my business because there are people who list with me, and they list with me because I stood with honesty, I stood with integrity. I was the first dealer who was given credit by Safaricom, and again, it was big money. I would have chosen not to pay them back and get out with the money, but I chose to pay up to the coin, you know. So and there's so many other principles. Of course, the greatest of them all is God above all. Yes, there are many people who work very hard. There are many people who have a lot of resources. You get what I mean? I mean, for me to come from a village in Odaya and to have, you know, sometimes when you introduce me, I'm even wondering whether you are speaking about this. Oh yes, I am, you know. And honestly,
I'm like, are you sure?
Yes,
That's me.
yeah, that's true. Because even in the marketplace, I've never made a pronunciation, but the media have identified me and they have released these beautiful narratives, and that confirms what I say and what I usually tell people, that do what is right because it is right, and the world will locate you. I'm a person who is located by the world. I'm sure you located me, because somehow, I didn't know you before, but now we have connected as thank God. But you located me, you get what I mean? There's something that gives you an opportunity in the middle of probably nothing. It takes time, yes it does, because you are not born in that privileged home where your name didn't carry names. You know, you have created your name. There are people who wake up and they are born with the names. Fortunately, most of us are not people who are born with the names. And so if I can make it, we can all make it.
Oh, wow. I know, if we start clapping, we'll clap the whole time. I mean, you're so inspirational. I love how you're speaking. It's definitely very easy to see how you're a mentor, how you're a beacon of hope. One of the things that you often speak about, because I've had an opportunity to watch some of your videos, is you speak about purpose. So how can young women align their careers or businesses with a greater purpose?
I think for me, the first thing, of course, the very early age, that is when up to a certain, maybe secondary school, maybe earlier these days, people do not have clarity. Even us, when we were growing up, really, who mentored us? Who told us which career to join? You were just walking and walking. And I usually make fun when people ask me about mentorship, and I asked them, who mentored me? One, it is, for me, one of the great things inside me is the greatness we have talked about. The fear of failure. Even today, I fear failure. The driving thing was the greatness we talked about. So for me, it was at that point, as narrow as that I need to push for my greatness, and nobody and nothing will be allowed to stop me from going that way. Then along the way, I started now realizing I am stronger in this than in that. And to the extent that I could understand it, I would pick the right move, make the right move, pick the right direction, and then get into a new direction, so to speak. I was able to listen to my parents, and it is important to listen to your parents. I have very, very genuine friends who we share and we talk about our lives. So identity is very important. So along the way, especially when I had certain very dark moments in my life, I decided to rethink about my identity. And I'll tell you, one of the main reasons that made me think about my identity and whom I am is because as women, you are brought up knowing you are the daughter of so-and-so. Yes. And you align yourself to being the daughter of so-and-so. And then when you get married, then you align yourself to be Mrs. so-and-so. And so all those people give you, all those things give you identity. And it makes you feel comfortable, especially for women. And you know, for example, if you are a single woman, I mean a single mother, for example, if you get beyond a certain age and you are not married, and there'll be all these conversations allowed you, it is as if you are being told you are not complete until you are. And I am saying, and I want to tell women, you are complete even without a husband. Because if God has created you to be that, and that is what your life is, you still and will still, and I'll still celebrate you. Because it's about me and not about anybody else. And so titles are important.
Yes.
But But the one thing I would desire women to know and to look out for is to come to a place where they understand that they are important and they have value. For me to get to that second level of looking for my identity, it took me 2 years. 2 years after walking the smooth one, you are the daughter of so-and-so, you are the wife of so-and-so, your career is looking all gathered up and you are doing very well, then something happens in your life and you are wondering, do I still know who I am? And I felt at that point, there was a lot of support from outside that was giving me my identity. My job probably was giving me my identity. My late husband was giving me my identity. I guess even my children were part of my identity. But it came a point where I said, I need to discover who I am. And when I did that, I chased everybody away. And literally, I mean it, because I wanted to avoid distractions. And when I did that, it is when I began the journey of whom I am today. What you see today, the Esther you see today, is an Esther who Esther has worked on. It's an Esther where we have put efforts. It's an Esther who have been criticized and come out of that. It's an Esther who has been called name and baptized, but we have overcome that. So today, even if you make the noises and people will continue making the noises, I call them, you know, it's where I say, let the dogs bark if they have to bark, but their barking does not eat me. Absolutely. No, exactly. And so I will have reached a level where even if the noises are made so loud, they have become so faint in my world that I have to get on. So therefore, we discover our purpose little by little. Then nobody ever cheat you that by the time you get out of your mother's womb, you know your purpose. But there's one comfort that I want to give everybody, that the God who created you knows your purpose. So your work is to pursue, who does God think I am? And you pick it. Even if you're a musician, me, if I try to sing today, can I sing? Absolutely no. If I came and sat on your chair, I can tell you I'll feel miserable. But I watched at you when you are even doing the introduction. You are so fluent. You have all the good English. You know me, I come from Mount Kenya, so sometimes my English near huko. So, you know, so and listening to all these voices. Some of them are inside voices. Others are external voices, but they all help you to look and know what am I good at. And more importantly, you don't have because you don't ask. Those who are Christians know where that is coming from. Yes. If you don't know, there is always, for me, there is a praise of God. There are times I go and tell God, I'm not understanding this. I don't know why this is looking like so. But because he's a God answering, he answers, yes. For me, there is a praise for that as well. Of course. You know,
spirituality is so important. Now, I want something, and I know so many people are very interested in knowing, you know, when you're not leading businesses, when you're not mentoring us, because for sure that's exactly what you do. How do you unwind? How do you stay grounded? You know, I know gone are the days when you would sleep after one. Now you can afford to be able to sit down and relax. What are some of the things that you do to relax yourself?
I was hoping you don't ask me how we balance family and
No. That one I will not. No. I want to know how you have fun.
If there's a question that I even wonder, why do men ask us this question? Should we also be asking them? Is it only a woman who should balance?
Who should
balance and family and all that? Yeah. So thank you that you did not ask that question.
It didn't even feature anywhere.
It didn't even feature anywhere. Because if you had asked that, I would have told you, what are you balancing? Just do life,
Just, oh wow.
Absolutely, just do
Wow.
life.
What are you balancing?
Yeah, what are you, just do life. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want, the answer I want to give you. Because the moment you realize that you need to prioritize everything in your life and give what is important time, you have time to do everything that is important. One of the narratives out there is that I am a very busy person. In fact, sometimes I meet people, and when they are telling me how they have been sometimes frustrated to get to my office, I actually wonder, are we talking of the same person? Because number one, I operate an open door policy. So as long as you are able, even to get to my front office, they'll never put the phone down until they have a conversation somehow. So I'm not saying you exploit that advantage. So, but I'm saying, I live because I do whatever I need to do because I've learned to prioritize on what I think is important. Believe you me, today I am here. Not because I wouldn't have had other things to do. Oh my God, my diary is full like this. But because this was a priority for me, because today was important for me, I dropped everything in my office and I am here. So that's one of the ways. So I believe in health and I like countryside.
Yes.
So you find me on the farm.
Yes.
I enjoy that. I like silence. By the way, my greatest rewarding mechanism is actually silence. It just does things to me. I.e., for example, on Sunday, sometimes I go to church, sometimes I don't. That's a story of another day.
Yes.
Because people will expect me to be going to church every day.
Yes.
So call me another time and I'll explain the details of that conversation. I will be in my house.
Yeah.
And not only in my house, there are days I'll be in my bedroom the whole day. Probably doing nothing. I get my food, my tea, my everything in my room. And if I don't do that, by Wednesday the next week, I'll be so exhausted. The other thing I have learned is to listen to my body.
Yes.
Me, even if my finger starts paining, I'll feel it. Because I've created an environment, an atmosphere that when my body is not right, it will cry. And when it cries or makes a noise, I'll address it. And what I'll do if need be, I remember I think it was 4 or 5 months ago, I was so stressed, to be honest. In fact, I told my daughter, I'm hallucinating. I mean, at night, because I have reached a boiling point that I can't explain it. So I won't fix on any one thing, but all I can say is I am sensitive on matters health, and whatever it takes, I will look for a me time, whether it's silence, whether it's meeting my social friends, whether it is my exercise, whether it's just by sitting in my garden on a Sunday. But I prioritize my me time when it is necessary.
Wow. So we have definitely come to my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session. We'll take a small break and then we'll be right back. Welcome back to Dadas Show, the Trailblazer edition with Dr. Esther Mushemi. Remember, we're coming to you from the newly refurbished Manzoni 680 Hotel here in Nairobi CBD. So we are at the question and answer session. This is an opportunity for my wonderful audience and perhaps even you at home to be able to interact with our Trailblazer. If you have a question, if you've got feedback, if you've got a word of encouragement, then this is normally the opportunity for our audience to do that. Even you at home, please ensure that we hear your thoughts and your opinion on this and any other show that we've had at KBC Channel 1 across all the social media platforms and at Dadas Show KBC on Facebook. We look forward to hearing from you. So to get the ball rolling, let's start with our first question, comment, feedback from Bridget. Bridget, karibu sana.
Thank you. My question is, what advice will you give to a woman starting off in business or entrepreneurship? And what will you tell your 20-year-old self right now?
Do what you need to be doing at 20 so that you guarantee your future. Because if you waste your 20, and I've seen very many girls looking like they are wasting their 20s, enjoying all the social things that you need to enjoy. Some of them even refuse to go to school because they're at the top of life, so to speak. When you probably are my age, you start wondering, why did I not invest in that career? Why didn't I invest in that school work? Because at that point you'll be dependent on you and you alone. And probably money will be your only friend. You need the money to do your hair then. You need your money to take care of your health. So that beauty that was obvious when you are 20 probably is not so obvious when you are 80. So learn to prioritize your time and do what you must be doing at 20. And at 20, you need to be investing in the current because you are looking into the future.
I hope, you've learned. If there's a lady out there watching, those are just pearls of wisdom. I wish I could narrow them down into one, but it's just beautiful pearls of wisdom for any young lady who's watching us today or would catch us our episodes on YouTube. Thank you so much, Bridget. I hope your question was answered. Our next question is from Peter.
Thank you very much. Mine is to congratulate you. When we go around the Samji group of companies, there is the newest baby that we can see, Super Great International. It is giving stem cells. We are wondering, in your address, could it have helped you in the 4 months that you said you were stressed? And we've seen how it is doing in the market. After answering that one, the second one will be, you are a known author of some books. Can you tell us the books? And then when you had to write the books, and what was it behind the 2 books? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your compliment. Imagine it's not always that you receive compliments. The world is very difficult and very tough. So thank you so much. And yet you are right. In the Samchi group of companies, our latest baby is the Super Great International, which is all about health. I'm all sold out to matters of health. And why I like this conversation even better is because it is the latest conversation in the world of health, and that is about the stem cells therapy. The stem cell therapy, it is about going into the inside, into the cell level, and working on both healthy and unhealthy cells so that we become more healthy, and rather than going for medicine per se, we are able to keep healthy, because when your immune system is good, it is also able to resist a lot of daily health issues. And not only the daily health, even the lifestyle diseases, they have everything to do with your cells. So I'm really sold to this conversation because I know it is working, and the testimonies that we have are just amazing. Wow. And yes, I am an author, and my first book was Give Me My Mountain. Give Me My Mountain is, the title tells it all. It is where you ask for your mountain. And this time mountain, it means your destiny, your purpose, your inheritance. So we challenge you to go for your mountain, to go for what you are called for. And Caleb at 85 actually got his mountain. Therefore, we are saying age is not a factor when you are going for your mountain. The second book is called called Springs of Water. The small title here is Opportunity in a Barren Situation. We are telling people, learn to find your opportunity, and no matter how dry the land is, no matter how barren the situation is, all you need is springs of water, and the dry land will be converted into an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much for bringing that out. By the way, this part of my life, or my later life, I enjoy it a lot. It's not about money where this is concerned. It's about fulfillment.
So thank you so much for that, and thank you for actually bringing that to our attention, Bwana Peter. Right next to Peter, we've got Monica, who's got a question or a comment. Karibu sana, Monica.
Thank you very much, Ashiko and Daktari, for the insightful show today. I would say I am actually emotional listening to you. If you allow me to comment her, she's really gorgeous. The true definition of bold and beautiful, the one we hear in the streets there.
Yes.
And from the small interaction I've had, I can easily describe her as a bold lady, a tough woman, as well as a soft lady. You see, she portrays the toughness and also soft.
Yes.
So my question is, what are some of the routines that have contributed to your success over time? Thank you.
I strongly believe that routines help you form habits, and habits help you and give you character. So character is developed, so to speak, over time. And it is very, very important that you have a character that can be relied on, that can be trusted, not only by other people, but even trusted by you. So I'm a very orderly person, I'm a very organized person, I'm a very diarized person. So diarized that over time, it's become a second nature for me. And I start my day very early. I actually start my day latest will have to be 5. I get my diary latest 4:30 the previous day. And I won't change it unless an emergency has come up. In the morning, yes, my PAs will remind me of my diary. So by the time I leave home for work, I'm so set and so aligned to what I need to do. When I get to office, I'm also very organized. I know when I need to do get my report. I know when I need to sign my checks. My life is that orderly.
So Monica, I hope your question has been answered. We've got our final question or comment from Temu. Temu, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Shiko, for the opportunity. I must say it's a blessing being a 20-year-old and listening to this because, well, it's just wow. And I would like to ask Daktari, now that you've taught us about the principle of focus, and I've also taken note that you took 10 years to do another business, or so what is really the time to say now I can diversify? Now you can say, let me change a little bit of my focus, but still in line with what I'm doing. And also in conjunction to that, I'd like to know, as a CEO, how do you balance different businesses in different sectors? How is it for you?
The first 10 years, one company. When banks could give me money, so capital was no longer a problem.
Yeah.
I had accumulated enough profit, so capital again is not a problem. And if it is not a problem, I can employ good people, I can create structures, I can delegate, I can sleep, and people are still working for me. Like now they are still working for me, you know. And so after that, and when I was able to do the next big thing, I then realized every 2 years, and my first probably 3 companies or so, the spacing is about 2 years each. The final one that I did just before COVID, I actually set up 3 companies in 1 year. In October, November, and December.
Wow.
I didn't know that COVID would hit me, and it actually was in a sector that was really hit by COVID, but I'll tell you, we never closed any of our companies, even during that time. So it's a combination of many things that have allowed me to now diversify. And let me tell you, today, I look aloud, I see an opportunity. The thing that is usually a problem for me in picking a new opportunity is actually the human element.
Yes. So that is really, really wonderful. I want to give our final opportunity and question to Sylvia. Sylvia definitely has something to say to us on this particular day, and then we can definitely call it an episode. Karibu sana, Sylvia.
Okay, mine is not a question, but a comment. Dr. Esther, you're really an inspiration to very many, and really honor you so much. Even being an employee in your company, it's not only work, but it's a daily inspiration, because every time we interact with you, I just want to think better, because you're a woman of integrity, you're a woman of great brains and humility, and above all, you fear God. And I just want to celebrate you on national TV. Coincidentally, today is her birthday, so yes, and I have a surprise for you, ma'am.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my.
Happy birthday
my.
to you. Happy birthday, dear Dr. Esther. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Esther. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Wow.
I think we can hand it over. Oh, wow. Just like a little. That's fantastic. It's got your picture on. It's got your picture there. That's why.
So today, very early in the morning, I got the first happy birthday message from my daughter. After that, I got happy birthday message from my son, and it's at that point that I realized today is my birthday.
Oh, wow.
And so I was struggling because I post on my social every day, and I was wondering now, how am I gonna handle this day? Then I'm being very vulnerable. I wanted to tell my PA, surely, how did you agree that I do
A show
a show today
on my birthday.
on my birthday?
Oh dear.
But somehow I said, let it pass, we will align. Little did I know.
Little did you
Little
know.
did I know that these great people had planned it to this detail.
Yes.
And so I want to take this opportunity to tell my team, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll never, never, never have imagined that you'd have thought it this way. I know oftentimes you give me flowers, a birthday cake, but I would never have imagined you going out of the way to bring it in front of a public show. Surely.
On the
you've
national
done-
TV bonus day.
Yes,
Woo!
yes.
That is so
Thank you.
amazing. And I
Yes.
think it's also testament to the kind of relationship and leadership and mentorship that you have with your people, because we have all worked for different bosses, and there's some people who you really don't care, you know. I mean, frankly, you're there to work, make your money and leave. But these people care about you on a personal level, and we feel so honored as Dadas Show that we've actually been incorporated to be part of this celebration that's going to be archived forever. So happy birthday to you. Sijui tukatie kakeki, hata mimi nikule keki kidogo, and then we can wind up the beautiful show. I mean, surely, you know, this is wonderful. Even I am surprised. This is definitely one for the books. So
It's effort.
there's so much effort, and there's a happy birthday, Dr. Madam CEO.
That shows it's very official.
Dr. Madam CEO. That's fantastic. Karibu sana. I believe, we can, your team can come and help you. Kata keki tukule sasa. Kata keki tukule sasa. Kata keki. Kata keki. Kata keki tukule sasa. May you have many, many more. May you have many, many more. I mean, truly, it's definitely a magical moment. On every time we come together as women to love on each other, to support each other, to empower each other. Happy, 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 happy birthday, Dr. Madam CEO. I am so privileged to be part of this. Now, back to the business of the day, which is celebrating you, to be honest. And what better way to celebrate you than on your birthday? So congratulations for that. Kindly give us your parting shot.
I think there is no shortcut in life's journey. People must learn and be prepared to walk every step. But a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one. So at where you are, you can actually make a decision today to change the direction of or in your life. Be prepared to put the hours. Be prepared to put the work. Ignore everything that is not part of your journey. The distraction, the noises, the giants that you fight along the way. Have only one purpose, that you are created for greatness, you are created for success. Anything else, as I said earlier on,
It's a sideshow.
absolutely is a
sideshow.
sideshow. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So thanks so much for the opportunity. I don't take it for granted. I can have all the wisdom, I can have everything, but if I don't have the platform to share what God has given to me, it will only remain with me. And this, what I'm doing today, is part of a legacy, because long after I've gone, this younger generation, the 20s, and even those who are not born, will one day listen to this conversation.
So we have come to the end of definitely one of my favorite shows. You know, we've got cake, so that makes it even better. So on behalf of our production team at KBC, our location partner Manzoni 680 Hotel, myself Ashiko Mbone, and of course my wonderful Trailblazer, her team, and everybody who has played a role in this particular production, I want to thank you. And I will catch you same time, same place next Sunday. But for now, love each other, love on yourself, and we will catch each other next Sunday. But for now, bye-bye.